questions? Somebody in the hallway was telling me that Somers, is that a town near here? Oh, question. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, obviously that summer must be over. Is the Starbucks still there?
Yes, that Starbucks is still open.
How many more chain stores opened up in the area?
They've been opening in Manhattan at about the rate of about one every 10 days.
How about that area that you want to keep clear? Do you have any open area? Starbucks?
The franchise-free zone in the East Village?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just our construct. We went up to the easternmost Starbucks on 2nd Avenue and made a border and made a statement. And we pinned a manifesto to their door. And we said we don't want any Starbucks east at this point. I'm getting emails now that there's one that is being planned for Williamsburg. And there hasn't been one in Williamsburg. Do we have any Williamsburg people here?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's been rumored for a while. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, I hope it isn't.
Come on.
It's going to happen.
Right there, definitely.
They want Williamsburg badly, I should think.
For those who don't know the neighborhood of Williamsburg, what can you tell us about the presence of Starbucks? How is that being used?
Williamsburg is a human scale place. The buildings match the size of people's bodies and souls. And it's been adopted by a fair number of these mysterious hip people who they have bars that have no sign in front. That's a sure sign that they're hip. And then there's dark light inside. And they sit there with their wine, and we don't know who these people are, but they seem to have endless amounts of money. And the number of these sort of hip bars that they're able to sustain is amazing. And that may be another thing to consider. I mean, we've been concentrating on transnational chain stores. It's just that they're the most obvious thing. They are the disease.
Yeah, I was in Williamsburg. I said we stopped 2 of the bars. Actually, 2 of them have been big neighborhood parties. Stopped there with the licenses, and they pulled it up and got home.
Was the noise the issue, or what?
No, this is before they opened.
Ah.
Which is the only way to stop them, because once they're open, they're almost impossible to stop. So, and these are not multinationals. These are actually owner. Well, who knows what one is, but they're individual owners, but they're still problematic today. It's a different kind of issue.
It's a different kind of issue, but it's so similar. It's just the transnationals are sort of big cartoons. You can attack them, but
It's interesting. The word change used before. I mean, how do you stop change when it's counterproductive? Because the system isn't that well set up. We really have to work very, very hard.
Right.
We can, but it's really hard. Like against Starbucks, I don't know if it's possible. Against individual operations, unfortunately, in a way, it's easier because it's one person with their money and stop that, and you stop it. It's Starbucks, it's almost amorphously gigantic. Hard.
Yeah. I don't know that. I wonder if there's ever been a Starbucks stopped. I'd like to hear about it if there has been. Is there a hand up over here? Pardon me? Katona?
Yeah, it's not Starbucks.
Did they? This fellow was just saying in the hallway this. There's a place called Somers that has some sort of anti-chain store policy. Is that right? What kind of town is Somers? Rich?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Rich people. Yeah.
Are there areas outside of New York City that you're trying to fight for also, or is it just, for now, just staying internationally?
Well, I wanted to talk about Astor Place here because as I said, because I'm in an art building here. There's a good chance if you're theater goers that you'll this at some point. But what we've been able to do is become symbols of the anti-displacement movement in many other areas. Because New York City, if you're local, you can be international, just because of the presence of media. So I concentrate on the symbolic nature of New York City. But for instance, Brother William and I next month are going. We have a run going right now in New York that ends on the 15th of April. Then after that, we're going to Iowa City, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We're going to do a Starbucks action in Cedar Rapids. And we recently returned from Vancouver and Salem, Oregon. And I get emails from around the world. I mean, I just got an email from this guy from Montana who said that there was one of these cowboy diners, you know, where the waitresses have been there forever, and people drive from adjoining ranches. They drive from like 60 miles away to be there. It's the hub of the county, you know. And now there's a Starbucks right across the street from this cowboy diner. So they really are, they really, nothing, I don't think they feel they have limits. I understand that they're putting a Starbucks up on the Great Wall of China, I just read. So they are a cancer, they're cultural cancer.
Have you ever gotten an offer from any of these large companies to stop what you're doing, like, you know, just we'll pay you to be quiet kind of thing?
Well, I've been hoping that would take place because I want to sell out as soon as possible. I got a call last week from the Toyota Comedy Festival, and they said it was classic. The guy on the phone was named Aaron Greenwald, and he sounded very slick, and he was talking to me like we were best friends. And there were like 2 secretaries to go through to return his call, and there was, each time that I was stopped, there was music, you know, playing. And when I finally talked to Aaron, he said, yeah, we'd like to have a discussion about pranksters and people who have a darker edge in their work. That was his phrase. And then I kind of pressed him, and you know, he dark and edge were the 2 words, I mean, that he was hanging on for, you know, for dear life. I mean, that was all, that's as far as he could move into the conversation. Yeah, the edgy dark stuff, so the dark edge. Because we know that you like that dark edge. And as long as you're on that edge, well, things are dark there. You know? So he really, and then he made a big mistake. You know, because I was kind of thinking in my head, I'll do an Andy Kaufman, I'll let myself get invited, and then I'll take a hammer to the Toyota logo or something, you know, and I'll be the only picture anybody ever remembers from this year's comedy festival, you know, so my wheels are turning there. But then he said, yeah, we're talking, you know, we got the Gorilla Girls, and we got the, something happened at that point. Because he said, we've got the Gorilla Girls on our panel. You've got the Gorilla Girls on this panel? The Gorilla Girls are in the Toyota Comedy Festival? Can we talk a little later in the day about this? Boom. So, I call it the Gorilla Girls. He doesn't have the Gorilla Girls. You know? And it's like these diplomats who they get 5 countries all to believe that the other 4 countries said yes. But you know, if the countries talk to each other, they all realize that everybody's saying like no or maybe. You know what I mean? And he was doing a strategy. He was trying to pick us off one by one by suggesting that the other. So the Gorilla Girls are terribly important artists who have, over the last 20 years, stayed outside the corporate frame, and now they are like gods. They are wonderful, forceful people who are transmitting information you know, in their gorilla masks, they'll stand out in front of the Whitney and pass it. Anybody know the Gorilla Girls here?
Yes.
Yes. What? Oh, yes? When? Just recently?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I worship those folks. So, you know, I talk to the Gorilla Girls about why I worship them so much and why other people do. I mean, I thought it was a pretty easy decision that was my brush with the devil right there. The Toyota Comedy Festival. But I really am not about comedy. I mean, except for Lenny Bruce. I mean, there aren't that many comics that I'm very interested in anyways. Comics are, a lot of them are sort of sad figures because they don't have a point of view. You know, David Letterman is sort of a sad guy. There's no point of view there. If you don't have any, if your whole job all night long, hallelujah. If your job all night long is just to be a curmudgeon, you know what I mean? Just what does he do? It's just, you know, he's sort of, his gestalt is, you're an asshole, I'm an asshole, let's have a conversation. You know, and that's David Letterman. I mean, there's no point of view. Garrison Keillor, there's nothing. Garrison, what do you believe in? What are you saying? Is late Wobegon, you know, it's sad. You know, it's like Lutherans that don't talk to each other out on the prairie. So, I can say that I'm from Minnesota. So, anybody else?